Is it live or is it Memorex? Does it matter? No, it really doesn't. You just want your weekly dose of Command This. You know it. That's why you tune in to the best podcast in Commanders Nation, as said by, well, yours truly on Twitter. But that's all that matters. So we're going to talk a little bit about some of the mini camp madness going on as we wrap things up from the past couple of weeks. And we'll talk about what Ron Rivera had to say, proper tense, people, next.
Skeet skeet. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. I don't know what day of the week it is. I couldn't tell you. I have no idea.
It doesn't matter because Steve's going to no-sell my BS every single time.
Thank you for tuning in for another episode of Command This. For us, this is episode 201, and we're talking about some trades. Chase Young getting traded? Nah,
Trade-offs?
Nah,
You kidding me? Trade-offs?
Nah, son. Man, here we go. So, minicamp has started since we last convened on Thursday. Chase Young, Montez Sweat back in the building. Charles Leno back in the building. There's a ton of footage out for Chase Young at Ashburn. Warren Sapp is at Ashburn. So there's a lot to talk about today, a lot to unpack with what's going on here with the team. So, but before I get started, I'm Steve. That was Phil on the intro. We're also joined by our third musketeer, Dev. What's cracking, Dev?
What's up?
Live and direct. Thank you very much. So we're just going to get started and kick it with a little bit of Ron Rivera press conference. And I think we need to keep track of how many times he says, Dev, drum roll.
I really do.
I really do. That's right. All right, well, let's get this show started and let's talk about and watch.
When do we invest in a laugh track?
I don't know.
Production value is going up for Command This.
It's like Kill Tony right now, man.
Pow, pow, pow. Yeah, who needs real laughter where you can just, get the rental crowd going.
I don't know if you've heard on Twitter, I am pretty funny, so.
You are. All right. Let's look at Ron Rivera's press conference today. I think it's going to give us an endless plethora of quotes and things to talk about. Would you say I have a plethora of piñatas?
A gaggle.
All right, Ron.
Plethora of piñatas.
Take us home, gentlemen. Please feel free to stop whenever. Let's go.
Just expect them to come in and just fit right in, assimilate to what we're doing. I understand, we've changed some things. We changed the way we do things. We changed our process, and I'm excited to see them as they work.
And then when you look
cut that right there.
Some of the things
What was the question?
Talking about what they expect to get out of minicamp.
Yeah.
The question. And that was missed because, well, they can't mic up these reporters for shit. Or maybe they just tend to get a little timid in front of those they like to write about behind closed doors. They changed up the process. They changed up how they do things. Gee, I wonder what he means by that. Behind me.
Yeah, he's getting in some ass. He is yelling at people in the huddle, hustle on my field, sort of all the things that you want, a little bit of emotion, right, from the coaches. we're getting.
Yeah, and it's you know that this team, the players respect Ron, they respect Jack. I'm now getting a feeling they just did not respect Scott Turner. Scott Turner did not command that kind of presence.
Right.
Right.
Yeah, and Ron. Yes, we all talk about Ron being all Mr. Stoic on the sidelines, but you need that because Jack Del Rio is a shouter. Eric Bieniemy is a shouter, and Ron just kind of stands. If you do something wrong, just looks at you like disappointed Papa, and sometimes that hurts more.
Yeah.
And I don't mind that. Everybody says you got to show fire and emotion on the sidelines. Not everybody should do that. And but I think he's definitely referring to Eric Bieniemy tightening things up and toughening things up on the offense. For sure.
All right. Let's go.
You most want to see, and also along that, how does losing that week of the OTAs affect maybe the planning for a week like that?
Well, it affected us most certainly with just the implementation, putting our defenses in, our installation is what it affected more than anything else. We had to speed it up. We had to add a few more things that we normally would probably have a couple more days to do. But that's okay. I mean, it's actually one thing that we've kind of seen is that we've put a lot on their plate. Coaches haven't held anything back, whether it be offense, defense, or special teams, and the guys are handling it very nicely. And what we're looking for now is really
what was lost. Did we lose something for the collective bargaining agreement, or
I think that they
what
shortened up this mini camp by a week or so in the new CBA.
Okay, fair.
the retention part of it. We every now and then you have one of those days where there's just a lot of mistakes, because of really the sheer volume, and just hoping now an opportunity to see just how these guys are handling all that.
Ron, with regards to Chase, just curious, what was sort of the homework assignment at the end of the year for him in terms of what he was going to work on? And then what are you kind of hoping to see from him these 3 days?
Well, I think the biggest thing as far as he's concerned more than anything else is just being healthy. He started to get healthier by the end of the year and played for us in 4 games. And we just want to see him pick up where he left off. He was starting to play faster and faster, and just love to see him get out there and really run around and, kind of cut it loose and not be tentative. And that's probably the biggest thing for him.
And if you've seen the videos, they're all on Twitter. Go check them out. We're not going to post them here. He's got that big brace on his knee, but he looks quick. He looks good. He looks fluid.
He looks a lot better than he did at the end of last season, and that's actually what I was hoping to see. I didn't expect him to come back and be, full on rookie year Chase, at the end of a season coming off of that knee injury, because I think that some of the reason why he didn't come back a few weeks sooner was wanting to make sure the knee was good.
Right.
And I think that now he's had those couple of games to say, hey, I can take the contact without getting hurt again. Another off season to really work himself back into pre-injury shape with the knee. So, I mean, he's looking good. He is looking a lot more like the Chase we saw his rookie year.
Yep. Good to see. Good to see.
This might be a silly question, but is he automatically back in the starting lineup, assuming he is healthy and all that?
Absolutely. I mean, again, the big thing more than anything else is, this has been a strictly voluntary, and and you don't reward guys and take things away for guys for not being around. These guys are going to get their reps.
I need to save this timestamp for people who say he needs to be there at camp. The coach just said it. It's voluntary.
Yeah.
What's the big deal? Ain't a big deal.
Like I said, if this is a brand new defense and he played a position other than defensive end, I might be a little more like, he should probably be there. It's the same defense. He's going to do the same things. It's not offensive line where you need to be able to communicate so much. Offensive line communicates to react to what defense is. He just needs to know what he's doing on specific stunts and so forth. Other than and Del Rio doesn't even stunt that much, although we did see it more last year.
Right.
So I imagine that for him, it's not like he needs to learn anything. So let him rehab. Let him get that knee, back into shape. Let him get back into the flow of things. in a way that's conducive for him. And he has looked really good since then. So I don't see what the problem is. If he came back in this past couple of days and just looked like, Doo-Doo Brown, then, we might have a problem, but he hasn't.
Yeah. Hey, Dev, real quick, you know what your Galaxy background reminds me of? And I don't know why this came up. Butterfly in the sky.
Didgeridoo or whatever the thing is.
Take a look. Oh, what a good show, man.
That's reading rainbow.
It's childhood right there. All right.
Yeah.
Let's pick
Things
back
to
up.
know, ways to grow.
That's
Reading
right.
Rainbow.
A reading rainbow. Okay. Let's get back to some Ron. What else did you say, Ron?
One thing we are going to do is we're going to be smart. We're not just going to throw them out there right away just because we don't know, what speed they've been working at. And that's the thing you have to be careful of, because they're going to go from 0 to 60 very quickly because they want to get in there. There's going to be a lot of energy. And you really do have to be smart. So we're not going to, if there's 60 reps, expect them to take, 50 or 40 of them. We got to get them and see where they are.
Ron, what's your approach to educating your players on the league's gambling policy? That's become kind of a talking point here in the
Jim Irsay.
Well, the first thing we did was when it first broke initially, we did have a player that was involved. Unfortunately, we reached out to the league and asked them if they had a PowerPoint deck that they could send and share with us. And so Malcolm took charge of that. Malcolm Black, our director of player development, he took charge of it. We got Mike Jacobs, our head of security here, involved as well. And then we presented to the players. And it was, and it's presented to them every year. But what we did was we did an extra emphasis in it. And then I believe it's tomorrow. It's tomorrow. The league will have a presentation as well. So we're going to continue that. It'll be a presentation that we will do during training camp as well, again, just so we continue to hammer these things home that, we've got to be very, very careful and understand that, the integrity of the league, the integrity of each team, and then the players' own integrity and coaches' integrity for that matter as well are at stake. And we have to be very, very diligent about this.
Cut. What kind of question is that?
Well, I think it's only because, well, first and foremost, Jim Irsay, get your boy. Isaiah Rodgers, accused of gambling. You ain't perfect. Welcome to the club. All right, let's get through that.
Murder, so
yeah.
I mean, Jim Irsay probably was like, "Oh hell, I got away from killing hookers."
I think it was a mistress, not a hooker.
But
remember, by the way, while we're on the hookers, I found out something cool today. By the way, from a police officer, an ex-cop at work. Did you know if you were to purchase a prostitute, highly illegal, but if you videotape it and purchase the video, it's pornography. That's legal.
The more you know.
Right.
Well then,
reading Rainbow. Reading Rainbow.
I gotta go conduct some business, people. I'll be back next week.
Yeah, but remember, Shaka Tony is suspended indefinitely, so that's why they're probably, and I think there's a bunch of other players too that they uncovered in this huge investigation of some sort. So I mean, yeah, it's a weird question, but has a little bit of relevance. Okay.
Yeah, but I didn't. I'm sorry. That question was like, what? Why?
That's a journalist who had that was Ben Standing must have ran out of questions. All right.
Hey Ron, when you got together right here, when you got together with your coaches after OTAs, what were your takeaways from how Sam performed, and what are you looking for him in this week here at minicamp?
Well, we really won't get into where they are until next week. But for the most part, I check in with Eric and get his feel for it. And then I check in with Tavita and the other coaches and really get a feel for them. I talk to the players as well and see what they're thinking. I mean, this is one of those things that we all got to feel very good and be very comfortable and confident in one another. And so asking everybody, what they're seeing, how they're feeling, what do they think, that's important. And so we've tried to make sure we're getting, we're getting a lot of perspectives on this.
All right.
Hey, Coach, since Duran has been here and he signed that extension, where have you seen him grow the most so far in this offseason program?
I think he's doing just like he did last year and the year before. I mean, he's the same guy. He shows up the same way. He works hard the same way, and that's true of most of our guys. I mean, when Jonathan, same thing for Jonathan, has been the same thing for Terry. I mean, these guys, they haven't changed who they are, and that's the best thing about it. And that's what we're excited about, being able to take care of our own guys that come in and perform and do things the right way. We want to try and keep those guys around and do the best we can, and we were able to do that. And
culture.
Yeah. I mean, it's true. There's very few guys that he wants to take care of. I don't know if Chase Young is one of those guys. That remains to be seen. But I do like the fact that after these guys get paid, they've kept that humble mentality and they didn't turn into something different, something that they're not.
Well, I would never call Duran Payne humble. That dude always walks out there like ready, just like he is just the baddest dude on the block, and you need that.
Why do you need to be humble though? Like
John Allen is humble, and but that's why they had that incident. John Duran on the sidelines. That's two very different personalities, and a couple years ago. And you know what? Big bro punked little bro a little bit, and yeah. Happens.
Is what it is. All right.
But you know what? Duran's always been out of all the guys that he's talked about. Duran, I would never call him. Duran works hard though. So it's not like he's one of these dudes who's all mouth and then half-asses it.
Right.
But I just thought it's funny he talks about Duran being humble, and I'm like, wait, what? No.
Maybe he's humble on the field, per se.
Maybe let's walk back that adjective. And I'm not saying it's a bad thing. I like that about Duran. Some guys play well being just the humble. I'll show you with my play, and then some dudes play well, but they gotta give you some mouth too. And Duran seems to be the guy who chirps a lot.
Yeah. Pause.
I don't know.
Duran's doing exactly what we believed he would be, and that's really just be the same guy, be who he is.
Going back to what John was asking about with the OTAs being kind of lost, do you feel like you're able to make up for lost time?
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting because in all the years of being doing what we've done, and this goes back to my previous spot in Carolina, for the most part, by the time we get to the 10th OTA or the 10th practice, we have everything installed. Now it's just a matter of going back for those last 3 minicamp practices and really seeing their retention, seeing how they handle it. Well, by the time we finish with the mini camps, we should be done with the installation. So what we really lost was just 2 days of review from my perspective. That's kind of how we see it. But, we've gotten the work that we've wanted out of it. And as I've said, when I first started this press conference was that, guys, for the most part, we've been able to do the things that we wanted to do. So losing a couple of days, it might have effect. It might not. And I think if we continue to work hard the way we have, we shouldn't miss them.
I think.
So let me get this straight. They took mini camp is where they installed the offense. I would probably claim my ignorance, but I didn't know that. I mean, I thought they started to get concepts of it. They started to get introduced to it, but I really thought training camp is where all that happens, where, they're yeah, I get it. It makes sense, but I've never heard a coach actually say that we install our offense at voluntary, events.
Which is why most people show up for the voluntary.
Well, yeah.
But yeah, that's been a thing for a while since they started cutting back training camp and cutting back the time you have at training camp. The practices and everything. Training camp is nailing it down and going through drills. You got to install that offense at mini camp because now they spend the rest of the summer. You have that playbook. Now it's not a matter of learning the playbooks or learning, the concepts of the offense. It's nailing it down in your downtime.
Yep. All right. What else you got for us, Ron?
In the past, and coaches generally do this across the NFL, they like scrap that third day of mandatory minicamp as kind of a reward. I'm guessing that's not on the table.
Well, that's not happening. No. We need that 10th day. That'll be our 10th practice. And then next week we get the one solo practice on Tuesday, which we will take advantage of as well. And then we'll send them on their ways.
Okay. And sorry, just real quick on KJ Henry, when he was drafted here, like Dabo Sweeney sent like a paragraph worth of text of like kind of his character. I'm just wondering what you've seen from him.
Oh, exactly that. I mean, I've had the great fortune of meeting Coach Sweeney, and believe me, reading that and hearing things that he has said about him, and not just him, but all of his players. I mean, you feel very comfortable when you're a guy that played, a lot like some of the teams like in Alabama, like in Georgia. I mean, Clemson's right up there in that same category type of coaching.
Who was the last Who was the last player from Clemson we had outside of KJ Henry?
Jarvis Jenkins.
Jarvis Jenkins. That's right. I had such high hopes for Jarvis Jenkins.
You and me both.
Because he was interior defensive. I think he was 99. Was that his number? Did he wear 99?
Yeah. Was that something like that?
He was a monster in college. Tore up the ACC.
Man. Who was the guy that he played next to somebody who was the star? But a lot of people said that dude was a star because of Jarvis next to him.
I don't know. I'm gonna have to go back and look.
I gotta remember now. Now I'm blanking, and it's somebody who was a first round pick too.
Was it?
Yeah. Damn it! Hold on.
When did he get drafted? He played in the NFL 2007, 2010. So it must have been like 2006 Clemson.
No, it wasn't that. It wasn't that far back. He was like 2011.
No, I'm sorry. His college years were 2007.
Oh, hold on.
Okay. I was trying to look at it too.
Yeah. Victor Beasley. Vic Beasley. That's who it was.
That's who it was.
Vic Beasley. Yeah. He was a first rounder, if I'm not mistaken. Vic Beasley, Courtney Brown, Jarvis Jenkins. Vic Beasley was on the outside. He was an edge rusher. The other defensive tackles, I don't recognize any of them. So it must have been Vic Beasley.
It was Vic Beasley. Because I remember a lot of people said that, but yeah, he tore his ACL in his rookie year. God, what is it with defensive linemen tearing their ACL? Came back for the 2012 season, and
8th overall pick he was.
Vic Beasley?
Yeah.
Yeah. I remember it was a high draft pick. Although realistically, what did Vic Beasley do?
He's on the place for the Vegas Vipers right now. So
yeah, Vic Beasley did not live up to his draft status either.
Not a whole lot.
But 2012, 2013, he was with us. Then he violated the substance abuse policy.
Yeah. He is on the XFL Vegas Vipers, so.
Yeah. Now I'm talking about Jarvis Jenkins violated substance abuse policy.
Yeah, he had some injuries too, and then who knows what happened to him. All right. What you got for us, Ron?
Are there any lingering issues with Chase and his knee, or is he 100% at this point?
Well, we'll find out today. I'm pretty confident, though, because he looked good. He really did. I know the doctors were all positive about everything he's done.
Really did.
And, and again, I know part of the reasoning.
Did that count? Is that one of them, Dev?
Yeah, in terms of did.
He said he really did. Close enough?
Yeah, close enough.
Right. That's one for you, Ron.
Nah, that's a bunch of them. He's always said
he wanted to really focus in on just that specifically, and he wanted to do that. And again, it'll be one of those things that the proof will be in the pudding when we watch him on practice.
And aside from that, what else are you kind of looking from him and Montez, I guess, as they return?
Just fitting back in, which I believe they will. I mean, they're guys that make an impact on our football team, and guys know who they are.
Do you still consider it a competition between Jacoby and Sam?
I do. I again, it's one of those things that guys, it's just because I said he's going to start off as QB1 doesn't mean he's going to finish as QB1. I like to believe, though, that if he goes out and does things he's capable of, he's got a very, very good chance of doing that. I think Jacoby has shown us some things that have really gotten people's attention. We talk about Jacoby almost as much as we talk about Sam. So
No, you don't.
Go through this process and
Cap.
until we play games.
You're playing
Pause it.
coy
again,
and that's probably a
there's
good thing.
Hey, that's Cap, Ron.
Yeah,
mega cap.
They're trotting Sam out there like he's.
I hate to stir the pot though, but I did tell y'all we did go after a backup quarterback in the first hour of free agency, and that is weird. So hey, I'm just saying, not to shovel more coal into that, Titanic engine.
It's hedging your bets.
Just telling y'all, Negro Damas.
Well, here's I see. So, yes, we commend Ron for breaking his normal mold of going with the rookie. He doesn't go with the rookie; he goes with veterans. But at the same time, he went out. Yeah, we're going with the 5th round pick. We have complete other faith in Sam. And we're going to get a backup quarterback who's capable of starting and started 9 games for the Browns last year. So
you gotta hedge your bets.
It's hedge betting at its finest.
And that's how you gotta do it.
And maybe any of those other quarterbacks they felt wouldn't give them a better run than what Jacoby Brissett did, based on what we saw last
I
year.
wanted Jacoby Brissett to start here 2 previous seasons.
Yeah.
Hey, if Brissett starting quarterback, Ron's done the next day. Next day.
Unless it's for injury, then you can't control
Next
that.
day, it don't matter. Next day.
What if Sam comes out and plays 3 games where 3-0, he's throwing for like 350 and 3 a game, and then all of a sudden, bam, injury.
Next day he's gone, bro. Next
because of an injury?
Whole year is just seeing this.
You gotta understand.
The whole year is for him, bro.
When a quarterback gets hurt, it's the coach's fault.
It is. According to Dev. When a 2nd round player gets hurt, it's also the coach's fault and the GM's fault.
No, it's everybody's fault because we've drafted in the 2nd round.
Yeah. Except mine. It ain't my fault.
Yeah. It ain't my fault.
Do you anticipate Jacoby taking the first team reps either in minicamp or when we get to training camp?
Well, that'll be something that that we'll sit down and talk about once we finish up. I know Eric likes what he's seeing right now from both guys, and we'll just continue to work.
What gives you all?
And I will say when they asked Jacoby Brissett the same thing, he's like, we'll cross that bridge when the time comes. Because I've been around the league for a long enough time to know I know the business. We'll cross that bridge when the time comes.
And,
I'm just here to
he
support
knows
the
that
team.
he's going to be the backup. That's what he means by that. I saw that.
Yeah.
The confidence that this will be the year that it all clicks for Sadiq Charles there at left guard as he kind of starts out as the one there.
Here you go, Dad.
Well, I think one thing is getting the first opportunity more so than anything else. I think that's important. I like the way he's been doing things.
Sadiq
There's
Charles?
a lot of positives that are pointing in the direction that this is a great opportunity for him.
Pause it.
You've been doing this a while.
Sadiq Charles?
Sadiq
Charles?
Sadiki.
Sadiq Charles, not Ray Charles.
Sadiq Charles. He's not a 2nd round pick, by the way.
Charles, dog.
He's a 4th round pick.
Sadiq
He's a Ron
Charles.
Rivera pick. 2020.
Ron didn't look too enthusiastic about having to answer a question about Sadiq Charles.
Yeah. That was a political answer. What are you going to say?
Charles?
Yeah. You know what?
Not Charles O'Banner from UCLA.
When I watched his footage from LSU,
Charles Barkley.
He had some good college tape. It was decent. It wasn't bad. It wasn't great, but it was like, okay.
It wasn't trading Trent Williams and start this guy good.
I mean, he's a guard by trade, so I don't know what people are expecting. He's not a tackle. He's a 4-star recruit. Playing the SEC. I don't know.
You get to the last week of your off season, or you got a little bit next week. Is there one thing you want to see, or a few things that you need to see from this team to know that they're ready, they've gotten what they need done?
How we handled that last day. I mean, it's interesting because, I know a couple of years ago I made a big deal about maturity, and I still think it's important that you see certain things that tell you that you're heading in the right direction, because, there's a certain point where the things that you have to do become a drag. Well, those things that you have to do should become things that you want to do. And once those things become what you want to do, I think then you've matured. You've understand that. So we'll see how we handle, next week. We have our last workout is Tuesday, and we'll see how the players come out, what their focus is like. And,
You think so?
Man, nobody wants to go to work and enjoy that shit every day, man. There's very few people that wake up every morning. I can't fucking wait to go to work.
I know.
It's crazy. Just to think these motherfuckers go out and catch footballs, got to enjoy their job is bullshit. These dudes wake up 2 or 3 times a day, 5 in the morning to work out and stay in shape. They're away from their wives and kids and moms and dads and brothers and sisters and friends they grew up with. They're often put in weird situations and asked to live this crazy life that no one else in the regular world is asked to live in front of millions of people. And you think they enjoy going to work every day?
Some might.
Like I work at a place where they actually have tours while you work, and people go around and watch you work and like yell shit at you, and it's like very minuscule in the grand scheme of how they do things in NFL or professional sports, and that shit bothers me. So I can imagine, you know what I'm saying, just dropping a wide open pass with 1 million people watching it, and that's cool and all. You get paid a lot of money, but to say you gotta enjoy it is bullshit.
And then everyone goes on social media and makes fun of you and talk shit.
Call you dick fingers and shit like that, man. I get it.
Oh man, yeah.
And then to me, the next big thing will be how they come back when we get in the training camp in late July.
How do you measure that? Is it just getting the work in, camaraderie, or is there something specific?
By the way,
and it's not just getting
I say all this stuff to say, I'm still gonna make fun of players on the team such as the guy with Sadiq Charles. Fuck that guy. That guy can't play, man.
There's nothing that says he can so far.
Can't play that.
The work in, but it's the way they work. The way they approach it, how they handle it, and then how they leave it, and then we'll see when they come back. I mean, again, because I really do like this group of young guys.
I really do.
A lot of young players and some key spots.
Three.
And one thing we can never ever feel is like we've made it, and that was always my concern in year 2, that we were premature there. And I'm feeling really good about this. But again, to your question, I'll see how they handle things on Tuesday, and we'll see how they come back when we're ready to go into July.
Okay, Ron. So they get a month and a half off, or a month off.
Good morning.
How are you?
Good.
As far as a dynamic between Jacoby Brissett and Sam Howell, you said they're competing against each other, but how have you seen their dynamic or relationship develop as, we're still pretty early on?
It's really cool because you watch the cooperation between the quarterbacks and not just those two, but all of them. And Jacoby's one thing everybody said about him is this dude's a great teammate. And when you watch him, and you watch how he handles his communications with Sam.
He's just a teammate. It's just like saying
happening, and
yeah, Aaron Rodgers
and just like when a fine girl says you're funny, that means you're ugly, bro. I mean, it's
great personality.
Right, you have a great personality.
I mean, did you hear Ben Roethlisberger on a podcast? Was it last week, week prior? Did you hear what he said?
No, what was that?
He was like, "Yeah, I didn't want Kenny Pickett to be successful. I wanted him to fail. I was the quarterback of the Pittsburgh Steelers. You don't want the guy behind you to be successful."
No, I don't want the guy behind me to be rapey. That's what I don't want.
Well, I mean, listen, but just straight up, replace him with someone else, starting quarterback. Brett Favre was the same way. It's not my job to train you to take my job. So clearly they don't care about the team that much to where I have to get my backup ready. I'm here to win. I'm here to be the quarterback. I don't want you to be good. I want to be better than you. And that's a real thing. Think about it in your own job.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like
the only time I'm training somebody to do my job is if I'm heading out the door.
Yeah, I had to do that. I've gotten they've laid off my whole department before at a job I've worked at, and I had to train the dude that's going to be doing my job for like half the money. So in order to get my payout at the end, I had to go through the whole stay there for like 90 more days.
Gut punch.
Right.
This is a legit team guy. I mean, he's trying to help Sam as much as possible, and then you watch Sam, and Sam's as encouraging and giving praise to Jacoby as well as the other guys, and that is what you want. You want a good room where there's a lot of cooperation and everybody's pulling for one another, and there's not a split dynamic between them. That's really been probably the best thing I've seen.
Why don't you ask the question like, why did you think it was important to pick a backup quarterback in the first day of free agency? Why nobody asked that question?
Oh, just continue to do what he's been doing. I mean, he really has come out and has really taken to what Eric's trying to, Coach Bieniemy's trying to get across to these guys on how to practice, how to prepare yourself, what's expected. That's the other thing that's been really good. And just watching him has been a treat this year because you see that growth. And again, to me, it's all trending in the right direction.
Last one.
Mm-hmm.
Asking about Sadiq Charles again, Dev.
That's a good question because of the fact that the chemistry is important. You've got some young guards that got to be able to work together. Sadiq is there, and as is Chris Paul, and their communication with Charles will be real important. Cornelius Lucas has done a really nice job though working with those young guys, and he's a guy that we know we can always count on as well. So it will be communication will be important. It's been really kind of neat to watch it. I think Nick has handled it very well as far as the center position has gone. You see those guys coming together and pulling in the right direction.
Is that the rookie?
The big thing we got to continue to do is grow that depth.
Gates, Nick Gates is the guy we got from
the Giants.
Giants, okay.
Yeah.
So he looks to be the starting center.
That hit us pretty hard last year. And, we just got to be able to stay healthy and keep these guys healthy and keep them rolling. All righty, cool. Thank you, guys.
That should be the only time Sadiq Charles has ever brought up twice in a press conference.
Well, one would think, but
and you notice he immediately pivoted to, Chris Paul's in there.
Yeah.
Yeah, him neither though. What's he doing on the practice squad for 8 years?
I know.
Chris Paul was a rookie last year.
Well,
really? Oh yeah, you're right. I'm sorry, Chris
Paul. A couple other notes from practice. They had
bad.
Jahan Dotson back returning punts with Dax Milne and someone named Kieran McGowan and Mitchell Tinsley.
Kieran McGowan sounds very familiar.
He's been in our camp before doing that.
Has he?
I believe so. Or if not in our camp, someone else's. I know that name.
Man, it sounds familiar. What school do you go to?
Ooh, I have no idea.
Say Louisville, I'm gonna be mad.
Louisville.
You would know if it was Louisville.
Man, they sucked last year. I rarely watched anything last year. These bums. They won like 3 games or some shit.
And look who else joined our team for the second year in a row. Big Warren Sapp.
Man, that dude shaped like a tick.
Shaped more like a pear.
Man, he looks like Dr. Robotnik on Sonic the Hedgehog, man. Let's roast this guy for a second.
Look at Jeff Zagania's calves.
I know this motherfucker is built like goddamn He-Man. Jesus Christ, who the fuck is that guy, man?
Looks like
that's our line coach.
He looks like the dad in The Incredibles.
Yeah, that's what I said, Mr. Incredible.
Yeah, he does look like him.
And then Ryan Kerrigan lost all his weight. That dude's calves is bigger than my thigh.
Look at his wrists are bigger than Sapp's ankles.
I mean,
it's funny for a guy who played with such a low center of gravity and everything else. Sapp, I don't know, and maybe some of that's lost mass from not working legs, I guess. But
Russell Okung, you seen his new picture?
Sapp shaped like a white woman, bro.
Jesus.
Did you see Russell Okung lost 100 pounds,
water
all
fast.
from 40 days of not eating water fast?
Have you ever water fasted before, Steve?
No.
I have. I got the 4 days. I lost like 10 pounds, man. I tried to go 5, but I was literally sitting by a bag of chips and just randomly just grabbed a bag and start biting. Oh shit, I fucked my fast up. That's how it ended. I wasn't hungry. I just seen a bag of chips. I reached and grabbed one. I was like,
That's
oh
that
no.
mental muscle memory.
Yeah.
Wait, Russell Okung lost how much weight in 40 days?
100 pounds. He looks good.
He says he's gonna do it again longer. 40 days of no calories, bro.
Just water, not even coffee.
Like I ain't gonna lie to you.
Did he work out?
You're supposed to. You're supposed to. You can put lemons in your water, but that's the extent. I think you can have bone broth. You can't get a I guess a liver response. You can't get a caloric response or anything like that.
He's gonna do it
you
again.
Stay on ketosis, or whatever, the whole time.
If
you work out, it increases your weight loss too. By the way, but if you work a lot, you can't be. I couldn't do my job. You know what I'm saying, and not take in calories. You know what I'm saying? I
Right.
black out at that place. But if
You
I
need
did it,
fuel.
I think we were on strike. It was about 4 years ago when I did it, 3 or 4 years ago when I first heard of it. I got about the second day out, you forget you're hungry. Like you actually, the first 2 days are real hard to not eat, but after 2 days, you literally forget that you don't get hungry anymore, man.
Yeah.
It's really just a coast, and then you just don't want to grab something by accident or munch or drink something bad. That's what you try not to do, like grab something out of the refrigerator.
Do you feel a need? Let me ask you this: do you? Because I've never. I did a 2-week liquid diet, and I lost 19 pounds in 14 days.
But those poops were terrible.
After a while, you didn't have any.
Oh, shit.
But I mean, I would have like soup broth. I would have broth. I would have soup. I would even do the occasional smoothie.
What the fuck?
That was nice.
Yeah. That sounded real.
But I drink a lot of water, and so I mean, I get that to an extent, but no calories at all. Woo. That would be interesting. I mean, I'm coming to the end of a bench program. If I can hit my bench goals, I'd love to cut that summer body down. 40 days, 100 pounds.
Man, we should go on a water diet all together one time, just to see who can go the longest.
That would mean Steve would have to give up his Woodford Reserve, and I don't know if he's ready to do that.
I don't know how to podcast without having a beverage.
Water with lemon in it, big dog.
Difficult.
Vodka has no calories.
There you go. Salt. I hate vodka too, by the way.
By the way, if you're a wrestling fan, you know what that story's from, and you know why it's funny.
I would have to do it like 4th of July week, and I don't really want to do it then because we're barbecuing. Because I don't work.
Well, here's the thing. I go to Nashville at the end of July, and I really I've put on weight, but I've put on a lot of muscle because I've been working I'm literally doing an 8-week bench program. So everything's built toward building you build your back, you build your triceps, build your shoulders so you can stabilize the bench.
Man, health is important as fuck.
So if I can cut all this weight down, first of all, if I were to cut 100 pounds, I'd be exactly where I'd want to be. Like where I would consider to be a perfect weight. Actually, I'd be under that. I'd be under what I would consider a perfect weight for me.
Yeah.
So if I could do that and keep a good chunk of what I've built, hell yeah. I'll come on here shirtless.
I've tried it a few times on those water
Flex.
things.
I'll be telling you guys, I'll be like, hey, anybody got a Band-Aid? Because I'm cut. Anybody got any tape? Because I'm ripped. Yeah.
The best way to do a water diet, though, bro, is to like wean yourself down. Like go the first 2 days before, just to go liquid diet, like 2 days before, and then just go.
Everybody used to that.
Yeah, and then when you get back, don't just go grab like a potato chip like I did in a sandwich or a Big Mac or no shit, man. You're gonna be like, it's gonna be rough for you.
Yeah. Back to Commanders news that Nikki Javalik posted that the Josh Harris team, the team from Josh Harris is meeting with the NFL Finance Committee, and they want to put a vote in front of the owners ASAP. So basically, as soon as late June or early July. So there's a chance. There still is a chance that this thing could be done before we go into training camp.
Dude, how good would it be?
Maybe Hard Knocks. Maybe even Hard Knocks.
You think we'll get something? We think we'll get Hard Knocks?
Dude, I would love to get Hard Knocks.
I would too. I ain't gonna lie.
Now is the time.
I just renewed my HBO Max for a year too, or Max.
Now's the time. You got Eric Bieniemy. You got a young rookie quarterback. A lot of other pieces in place, minus the offensive line.
The Chase Young contract drama.
Yeah, there's a lot of good storylines you could bake in there. Imagine. I would love to see the cameras follow Sam Howell around.
I want to see him go to barber, get that dumbass captain, get that dumbass beard lined up.
Yeah. Man, get off his beard.
He's just like 8 shades darker than his face. It's weird, it looks like it's drawn on, man.
Yeah, pencil thin. Sometimes it goes like that, but all good. Yeah, I think that covers it. We talked about we mostly focused on the Ron Rivera press conference. So a lot of business happening. They have practice for the rest of the week. We said one practice next week, and then we won't see them again until, what do you say, July? Is that when training camp starts? Holy moly.
So let's back up here a second. Do you know the different records of the teams that have been in Hard Knocks?
I mean, the Lions were what 1-16, 1-15.
They weren't on Hard Knocks when they
Yeah,
went.
they were Lions, right?
The Lions were last
season, yeah.
Yeah, but they were better than that. They were 1-16 before Hard Knocks.
Are you talking about after Hard Knocks?
After Hard Knocks.
Oh. Well, you had the Lions. You had
the Lions. Okay, so the Lions record, I think they were hovering around 500. They were right in the middle of it. So
yeah,
2012 Dolphins
Strong at the
7-8-1. 2013 Bengals 10-5-1. 2014 Falcons 7-9. 2015 Texans 9-7. 2016 Rams 4-11-1. 2017 Buccaneers 7-7-2. I don't remember the Buccaneers having 2 times. I don't remember anybody having 2 times, but okay.
Yeah, Bengals had twice, I think.
Browns 2018 10-6. Raiders 2019 8-8. Chargers 2020 9-7. Rams 2020 9-7. And Cowboys 2021 13-4. So you had 3 10-win teams in 10 years.
Yeah.
11 years now.
I hope they get
54% winning percentage. 93, 79, and 5.
I want it. It would be great. Get some nice national exposure because the show is produced so well. And I think they would capture a lot of the things that people aren't seeing on the national side that we probably see.
Well,
on
the
local
NFL
side.
owns it, so they, of course it's going to capture all the good stuff.
Yeah, and then they want it to be a good product. Of course.
They're not going to have locker room, they're not going to have like cameras in the girls' cheerleading locker rooms and stuff. You know what I'm saying?
No.
no one in their right mind would do that, by the way.
Yeah. Let's see, Bruce Allen. Who was pre-Julie Donaldson? Who was that guy again? The voice of the Redskins.
He was like a business. Al Michaels. I don't know.
No,
Larry
you're
Michaels.
talking about Larry Michael.
Larry Michaels. Yeah.
Oh no.
Larry Michaels. That
Larry
guy.
Michael. Okay. Every time I talk about Larry Michael, I know now his name's kind of muddy.
Taboo.
My buddy used to have an audio clip saved on his phone, and he lost it changing phones over. But it was somebody got hurt or something. It's just it's Larry Michael. He just goes, "Oh no, oh no," and I'm just like, it's the
that would be a great
weirdest sounding thing ever.
Speaking of sports commentators, man, did you see that Will Ferrell is going to play John Madden in the John Madden movie?
I did.
Is it going to be a game movie or is it going to be about a him movie?
They already did a great documentary on him.
I don't know.
I would like to see a documentary movie about him because I think it'll be. Have you seen the one about Bob Ross? It's not really about Bob Ross. That shit's funny.
No. Pretty good.
No, they did a real documentary right around that was done that they completed it right before John Madden passed. And
about the video game or him?
It was about him.
See, I want one like they did Nike. How they did the Up or the Michael Jordan, about the tennis shoe, Air.
Where we dramatize everything. No.
Yeah, I want like Air, like the one with.
It's all dramatization though.
With Ben Affleck and what's his face in it, man.
Yeah,
Matt Damon.
Basically the story of Phil Knight and
yeah, I want it to be like that. If it's like that about John Madden, that'd be pretty dope, man.
Not everything needs to be.
Or like Walk Hard, like they did Johnny Cash and Walk Hard, just mockumentary his ass.
Well, they were mocking movies like that in general, because they were also mocking Ray, and all the other movies that came out.
Love the Negro man. love.
I don't know. The problem is that when you do movies like that, sometimes that becomes the image people have.
Negro man.
Can some things remain sacred?
If you come up here this way, and I meet you in Tennessee, or you come up here, we're going karaoke, and you're singing Negro Man Field. No lie, that's happening.
If you can find that, more power to you.
Yes.
If you can
have a bar that has that.
Yeah.
I've got that movie around here somewhere on DVD.
I watch it all the time.
Oh, it's a great movie.
The soundtrack is in my Spotify playlist, man.
Great movie.
It's hilarious.
Yeah. Well, fellas, it's been real. It's been fun.
Go watch Spider-Man. It's dope.
I heard. There's nothing but good things about it. Yes, we're technically scheduled to be back next Thursday for our weekly stream. Hopefully, we continue to start dropping some additional content in between the weeks. But until then, you get us once a week. Once, I don't know, training camp and preseason starts, we'll probably go ratchet back up to our previous twice a week frequency. So looking forward to doing that for sure. You guys, Phil, you got any shout outs before we shut it down?
Shout out to the fact that I don't have to put a new transmission in my daily ride.
Hey-o.
But I do have to get a new clutch.
Oh, that's $1,000, man.
Yep.
$1,000
it's always
is fine.
something, right?
$1,000 is fine. A new transmission probably would have been $3,000.
You talking about in the Mustang?
No.
Dev,
I don't deal in the
Dev,
Mustang.
what about your AC though, Dev?
Oh man, it was just a lower something. I forgot what it's called. But it was like
$10 part
fix,
cost you $1,000.
$1,400.
Shout out to car problems.
Shout out to the GM and the Hummer, making everything way too expensive in that one. I know I shouldn't say too much because that is your employer.
Yeah, allegedly.
Yeah, the Hummer is impossible to work on, dude.
Allegedly. You got any shout outs, Dev?
Oh man, shout out to Spider-Man. Miles Morales, he was pretty cool. My opinion, the original Spider-Verse cartoon was the best Spider-Man movie, in my opinion.
The first Miles Morales one?
Yeah, that was the best Spider-Man movie.
It was
This was
fantastic.
probably fourth or fifth if all the Spider-Man movies are all lined up. But it's still a really good movie. Go see it. Pretty dope.
Yeah.
And I've been watching the Gremlins cartoon series too, by the way.
I didn't know that even existed.
It's on HBO. It's dope. It's Mogwai's, like tells the story before.
Yeah.
They came to
Now,
America.
by the way, speaking of cartoons and from our earlier days, is anyone besides me just loving this comeback of Beavis and Butthead on Paramount Plus?
I'm trying to get into it.
I didn't like it.
I can't get into it.
I do because it feels so much like the original, but it feels updated.
The first episode of Beavis and Butthead gave us a classic. It's so cold in the D. I don't know how they're gonna be there. The first episode, it's so cold in the D.
I watched that, and it was like when I was younger. When it came out, I was probably like 2 a.m. when they used to run Beavis and Butthead sometimes, and I watched that, and I was like, I had the same reaction they did. What is this?
Yeah, like what the fuck am I watching?
That and I don't know how old it was. 13. What year? 93. What year
When
did they come?
BET Uncut came on and stuff.
No, Beavis and Butthead
was on MTV. Yeah, it was 93.
I don't know. And I also learned Foreigner. I didn't know Foreigner back then. James, Steve Perry.
That's Journey, dude.
I'm sorry, Journey, not Foreigner. Journey. They made fun of a Journey song. I think in the same episode, it was "It's So Cold in the D," and it was Journey, Separate Ways.
Oh, yeah, it is.
That's
the Rocky.
If he ever hurts you, yeah, the same episode. And that's when the first time I was exposed to Journey. So I remember that episode like very, very fondly.
That's not fucking Foreigner.
That's
Journey.
Journey. Steve Perry's Journey. The same song. The one that they play at all the weddings. Don't Stop Believing.
Yeah, Don't Stop Believing. Yeah, Journey's awesome, by the way.
Yeah, good group. And now they have a Filipino dude touring with them. You ever seen that?
Really?
YouTube.
I seen
It's a little Filipino dude. They discovered him in the Philippines. He is now the lead singer of Journey because he used to sing it on karaoke.
Journey.
Oh yeah, I did see that. He
Yeah.
sounds just like the dude.
Straight
I
up.
may be going to. By the way, you brought Foo Fighters. I may be going to go see them in September.
My wife, I think, is going to see them at the Anthem in DC.
I watched a little of that stuff on my hacked Fire Stick.
You know what? It all relates because Dave Grohl is from Alexandria, Virginia.
That's right.
There you go, yeah.
And has a studio there now.
I believe he went to my wife's high school, Bishop Ireton, if I'm not mistaken.
Did your wife go to a private high school? She went to school with a lot of motherfuckers, bro.
Yeah. No, a private high school.
Did she go to private school?
She went to private school.
Oh, okay.
Cranbrook.
That's what she went to Cranbrook. That's
That's
a
a
private
private
school.
school. Oh shit, she went there Papa Doc, nigga. Oh shit.
No.
Did she know
Oh,
Clarence?
shit.
Clarence' parents had a
Went to
real
school
good
with
marriage.
Clarence, nigga. That's what's up. Wow.
No, never mind. He went to Thomas Jefferson's and no. Yes, he transferred to Bishop Ireton in Alexandria. That's the school my wife went to. So he did go to Bishop Ireton because he was using cannabis, which was lowering his grades. And he stayed there for 2 years, then transferred to Annandale High School. Yeah. Yes. So I'm not crazy. Not crazy. All right, fellas. This was fun. As always, we thank you for tuning in. Please like and subscribe. Go check out the audio podcast on any of your audio podcast platforms. And we'll be back. Drop us a comment. Let us know what you thought of the episode. And we'll catch you on the flip side. As always, peace and hail. We out.